Alright, this here is Acacia Dragon, Guildmaster of the Acacia Guild. One member in the guild named Cool Pancakes has asked me to record a video basically giving a summarized guide to the game, considering I am pretty highly ranked in Skyblock level, top 1000. I think this is reasonable, I guess, for me to give a guide on how to get at least close to my rank, my level here, if not further, or at least some progress further than where you're at right now. So I'm going to go straight to the ways to gain Skyblock XP, and I'm going to go in order from all these different tasks it lists, and say the easiest way to do it, or at the very least, well maybe not the easiest, but the method that does not want you to stop playing this game as easily. To start with, the least favorite one for everyone, grinding your skill levels. This gets you 7,500 XP. That is a lot of your levels. That is a large amount. As you can see right here, I have almost 70 of my Skyblock levels from out of 7,500 here, because I do not have 4 of my skills maxed out yet, and this one I could definitely have maxed out. But a lot of the skills I recommend getting passively, except for obviously you want to get your daily enchanting done. Alchemy, that is a good one to get during Derpy or some other XP boost. Carpentry, don't go for this until you really need to at the end, towards your end of the game. It'll come passively. I already have over 10 million overflow after getting Carpentry 50. Taming, another passive one. Just make sure you always have a pet on. Combat, as you can see, I have a lot of combat XP. I know how to do that. The best way that I've seen to get combat XP is a lot of Enderman Slayer, ghost grinding, floor 6s, and other dungeons. You'll get this as well pretty easily. Mining, I'm not very good at mining. I have very low powders in the heart of Mountain Tree, but good methods for that is mining mithril and gemstone. You can make a lot of money while mining gemstone. Everyone knows this. Farming with the garden out now, it is a lot easier. If you don't want to farm a lot manually, you can easily get levels just by having your visitors served. I've added someone to my co-op like 21 days ago, and they have already gotten up to farming 32 using a lot of visitors. So I would highly recommend doing that if you do not want to hard grind your farming level. Your foraging, no one really likes to do this one. You can passively gain XP with minions, but the first person I know of to ever hit foraging 50 with minions, it took him almost 3 years to hit foraging 50. In minions, it's not recommended to go for 50. You will have to manually do some foraging. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it during Derpy because many other people already are doing it, but some good places to forage are Dark Oak and Acacia Wood. If you know how to forage them properly, they have the best XP rates. Fishing is very helpful and gives you a lot of XP, as there is also the trophy fish you can get, which are going to give you a lot more. Another one, enchanting, you need at least, was the last one here, it's like 37 is the final enchants you get from enchanting level, and those are very useful. As well as all of this ability damage and intelligence you gain, there is no reason to not max out your enchanting, as well as the slight chance that you might get something in your experimentation table. It is worth it to continue going after level 60. That should be about all the skills that matter. The next thing, museum donations. I would say hold off on donating items to the museum unless they're very cheap or already soulbound. You should probably wait to donate items to the museum until you're later in the game and you know you do not need to sell this for money. Fairy souls, it may only be 480 XP, but that is going to help you out with getting your level up easily. It may take a couple hours, but it is far better than some alternative routes towards end game, for sure. And it will get you some easy levels with little effort on combat and spending money early game. Your accessory bag, this is also going to be a passive one you do. It is very advised that you do get a lot of accessories. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of accessories. My accessory bag is worth around 3 to 4 billion coins because everything is recombobulated. But having a high magical power can also get you in good dungeon parties and everything else, because not many people have focused on their accessories like they should. pet score, you luckily only need to have everything in your pet menu once. So if you want to get this one time and then sell all the pets that you do not use, you are able to do that, and then you don't have to worry about your pet score, or you can wait until you have more money and then do it again. Collections, this one you should start as soon as possible. Make sure that you get minions down to get all of your collections maxed out. The only ones that are hard to get now is, of course, the chili pepper collection, which you need to spend billions of coins on to max out. And with the new rift, I do not quite have all of them maxed out, but currently I know Hemovibe collection is going to be a good one for making money, as each day I've been making over 10 million coins off of my tier 3 minions, which I have right up here. I have 30 of them down, and these guys make me a lot of money. Even without fuel right now, they're still making me over 200,000 coins per, and there's 30 of them down. Another, let's see, go to the next XP. Crafting minions right here. Having minion slots is insanely useful because this helps you make money passively. As I just mentioned, these guys right here have been making me millions a day without having any fuel in them still. They make me a lot of money. As you see, no fuel. They just don't have a super compactor, and they're only tier 3. Having these guys down will help you get your collections up and get you money every day. The next method here, bank upgrades. You don't need to worry about this one too much. I recommend that you maybe only get deluxe or super deluxe if you're not having a G-Drag. If you have a G-Drag, go for Premier until you feel you're ready to get a luxurious bank upgrade so you can hold more money in the bank instead of on your purse. That'll also allow you to get slightly more interest, which can be useful as well for passive income. I recommend if you have space in your bank to make more income, that you get interest amount marked in there. So if I were to go to my bank right now, obviously I do not have enough money for this much, because this bank I need 5.7 billion. But as you can see here, I'm currently getting over 500,000 coins every 32 hours or 31 hours just for having my money sit here in that co-op bank. In my personal bank, I'm still getting another 100,000 coins. At the lowest bank, you get a 15 million coins. It gives you 250,000, and then having 20 million with the deluxe bank account will get you 300,000 coins. It slowly gets less and less, but you still get all this interest, and that is good passive income. That is all for the core tasks, and then there's the event tasks. Obviously, these are the hardest ones to do, mainly these two, because you have to have a mayor. The Spooky Festival, though, my recommended strategy, I actually helped out my newest co member get theirs just yesterday, is I would recommend getting 3, if you have the money at least, candied bat person armor, 3/4, at least a legendary bat pet. You do not need it to be mythic. And the last thing I would recommend you using is a precursor eye, because with the precursor eye on, all you have to do is with enough mana, you can crouch and uncrouch, and it will kill the mobs in front of you. And then you do not have to worry about anyone coming up in front of you, because you can just reach out and kill it without touching it. And that is how I easily have gotten for myself. I have a Spooky Pie right here with 7,000 candy score. And that is a really good method in the spider's den to do. And then, of course, this one right here, I would recommend not waiting to do these until after your skill level is up, because then you're going to be grinding extra that skill. I'd recommend trying to do these while you level up your skill, and sometimes it actually is a good idea to go with whatever the mayor is, so that way you get your XP, money, and your levels up. And then we next have the dungeon tasks. This one, of course, can be kind of difficult because you need money for gear to get to the next level, and you also need to have a party. However, there is plenty of XP to be gained here, going with 27 levels. It is very helpful to get your dungeon floor completions, as they give a lot of XP, especially on the master mode floors. However, some of these are not very enjoyable, like M2, M4, and some of the other later ones. And of course, floor 4 and floor 7 can be pretty difficult to get into parties, as usually people want you to be cat 30. However, it is recommended to do these as you can make plenty of money, especially on floor 7 and master modes 3, 5, 6, and 7. The next thing I'll be covering here is the essence shops. Some of these are actually very helpful to be getting, like the Z-Luck Dragon Essence perk, and there's some other ones in there, like One Punch. In the Ice Essence, there is also the I'm forgetting which one it was. I think it was Cold Efficiency, and one of them gives you double essence chance when you salvage an item. That is very useful for making more money. The Spider Essence shop doesn't have too much in here that's good unless you're grinding Spider Slayer, and then it's good to get most of these. Undead Essence, this is the only one I don't have maxed out. However, I would really recommend getting stuff like Boss Luck and just some low levels of the other ones because they'll give you extra stats inside the dungeons. The Wither Essence shop, it is really, really important to get your Forbidden Blessing up because that'll give you more stats from blessings in dungeons, making it easier to do the higher levels of the floors. And the other ones just give you permanent stats everywhere, so they're some nice little extra stats to gain. The Crimson Essence shop has some good ones, especially for the Kudra, and if you need to grind out your Nether Stars for Kudra keys, it is really important to get those. The Fortunes are good for getting your collection up if you want to do those by hand. Otherwise, you can just go onto whatever faction and craft a minion, although it will be faster to probably do it by hand, especially when you can only have one minion type down. The next section here is the Slaying Task. Slayer level up. A lot of these levels, people don't realize just how good they actually are. I'm going to call Maddox here. So, Zombie Slayer, there are some pretty helpful things in here. Of course, you have the minion, which is good for a unique minion slot. The Voodoo Doll, I've seen a lot of people use these. I personally do not use it. I don't think I ever have, because I've managed to get by without it. But everyone knows, of course, you have the Warden Helmet, Axe of the Shredded, and Reaper Orb is an accessory to use. The Zombie Brain Mix-In is also really good, giving you 10 Ferocity, and you just mix it in with your God Pot, and it's active at the same time. Another good thing to have from here is the Reaper Scythe if you want to do Enderman Slayer without using explosive arrows, and the Reaper Mask is very helpful when you're going to a new deadly Slayer or dungeon because the Reaper Mask will give you double your healing. Zombie Slayer level 9, it doesn't have too much use. It's just there for another 150 Skyblock XP, and it's nice to have. Plus, you probably will not be dropping a Warden Heart until you get level 9 anyways if you are not very lucky, like me. I personally went over 6.5 million XP, and I've only dropped 2 Warden Hearts. Tarantula Broodfather, many people seem to underestimate this Slayer. It has a lot of good stuff to get. Obviously, this Tarantula Minion at level 5, and then there isn't too much else here you see, except for the fact that you get a free rare accessory at level 7, ability to use an epic one, the Spider Artifact, and by now you've probably dropped a Tarantula Talisman, which is another accessory. So you get 3 accessories just getting level 7. Level 8, the Alchemy Wisdom is really helpful as well if you want to get your Alchemy 50 up easier with spending less money. And the Spider Egg Missing is pretty good, it gives you a dodge chance. Other than that, there's not too much good drops from this Slayer, which is probably why many people don't look at it, but you can make a lot of money dropping Tarantula Talismans. Sven, everyone knows that you want to get yourself an Overflux Capacitator, which is very useful. There's also, because you have the Overflux, Plasma Flux, Mana Flux, and Radiant Power Orb from Sven. There's also the Mastiff Armor, which is helpful for getting yourself the Campfire Badge and doing healer milestones when you're playing dungeons. There's also the Maddox Bat Foam, which is really useful to have. Let's see what else here. At level 8, this is very helpful to have the large Slayer sack if you plan on doing a lot of Slayers. And the Wolf for Mixin is also insanely good, as every time that you one-tap a mob, you get 7 extra magic fine on that kill. Aside from that, level 9 doesn't really give anything. Now, Enderman level, it is very helpful to get level 9, and you're guaranteed to drop at least 1 Judgment Core, as The meter only needs 900,000 XP to get full. Now, there are plenty of things everyone knows. There's the GG short bow, and is the Terminator. There are also many accessories like the Soulflow battery and whatever upgrades it has. And there is, of course, the pocket espresso machine, the Ender Relic upgrader for the Ender Relic, and there's also the Handy Blood Chalice. Other useful things here are gyrokinetic wands, which are often used in floor 6 and a lot of other later game strategies. Sinseeker Scythe is also used in Infernal Kudras. The Gloomlock Grimoire is really useful for tanks and healers on higher floors of Master Mode to keep them at full health. And what else here? Voidling Minion is really good for making money. One thing that Enderman also has is it has a perk for both level 8 and level 9. At level 8, you get a 15% chance to find RNGs, enchants, and super pairs, which is another reason you should make sure to get your enchanting level up so you can drop those. And level 9, you get 15% chance to find rare creatures like Zealots, Inquisitors, Elusive mobs when you're doing the Trapper quest, and Vanquishers. That is very helpful for making money and doing Kudras. Rift, I cannot show you the Riftstalker Bloodfiend because I'm not in the Rift right now. But there's also the Inferno Demon Lord now. This one doesn't have too much, but it is nice to get. The Droplet Wisp is a pretty easy pet to get, uncommon. I feel like there's not much to get here because I myself hardly use anything from here except for the SOS Flare, but that is a very endgame item and many people will not find it worth it to buy. I personally do not even have level 8. That is the only Slayer I haven't maxed out. Now, back to the ways to gain Skyblock XP. There's also the boss collections. This is something you will gain passively as you do your Kudras and dungeons. It is very nice to get your floor 6 maxed out. You can do while leveling up combat pets because as an archer you can get a lot of XP killing all the giants and golems. That is what I mainly did to get over 1,000 runs for that, and the diamond head is worth 300 million coins on floor 7 right now, and it doesn't show me the Elben right now, but it's probably around 200 mil for Zidans. Floor 7, it's really great to do that many runs because you can drop Necron's handles and scrolls. Bestiary, this is a passive thing, however, it is really helpful for getting your combat level up, as every other milestone after you've gotten to a certain point will give you 1,000,000 combat XP, which you can use to level up your combat pets and leveling up your skill. I recommend leveling up pets at the same time so you can make some extra money. But this is a very passive thing. Don't grind this until you're really endgame. Mythological kills, this is also an event-based thing, so you can't really hard grind it, although it can be helpful to get Enderman 9 first. Slaying dragons, this is a pretty easy one. You could probably just find people summoning dragons and kill each of these on your own. Defeating Slayer tiers, this one, that's the main reason to do Inferno Demon Lord. I know this tier 5 for the Vampire Slayer is kind of ping locked and you need to completely get a lot of items in the Rift, but that is also really good XP as you get 75 XP for killing these. This is another reason to get your Slayers done if you want to get Skyblock level, because that is 10 levels. Kudra tiers, this one, I know these two right here are pretty similar, pretty good XP to get as well. And Kudra's really good for money, so getting these is probably going to come as you make money. Arachne, this is a pretty easy one. I don't really have much to say about these slaying ones. Now, the skill-related tasks. First of all, mining. This is one of my worst sections here. Powder mining is not something I personally enjoy. However, if you want to get XP, you can definitely get a lot. As you can see, there are 16 levels total to gain from your powder alone. Once you get up to 12.5 million and 20 million powder, as you can see, I don't have much, only having 2 million and 1.4 million. There's commission milestones, which getting these can be pretty helpful with the travel scrolls and nucleus, and all of this mining XP will help you level up your mining. There's the Crystal Nucleus runs. These will also help you level up your Heart of the Mountain because every run will now give you, I think, 800 Heart of the Mountain XP. You can also have the chance to drop a Divine Alloy. Peak of the Mountain right here. This one, I don't see too much reason to get level 7, so I haven't tried to do it yet because I'll probably lose Skyblock XP doing that. But it is helpful to at least get level 5, and then level 6 you get the 2 base gemstone powder when mining gemstones. Rock Pet Milestone, this is pretty passive, but it is nice to get because then you'll get that legendary pet, which will also get you your pet score, and then you can sell it later for coins. Farming, as you can see here, I have almost half of it maxed out. I need a shop upgrades. This takes a lot of gold medals and coins on the tickets, but it is really helpful, and you'll get some of it trying to get farming 60 anyways. The garden level, this is very passive now. All you need to do is make sure you accept your visitors and farm your crops, and you'll get it pretty easily. Unique visitors served. There is a cap on this. Looks like I've about hit it because there are only so many unique visitors you can serve. I don't know why it says you can get up to 96 XP when there are not that many. Offers accepted. This one is ever going to keep growing, and it is very helpful to accept them as the Lotus set gives you extra farming fortune every milestone that the Lotus set has, and then you also get Skyblock XP here. Crop upgrades. Once you get to where I'm at, it gets to be pretty expensive as the next upgrade for the next 10 XP I can get will cost me about 300 million coins of copper if I spent on average 6,000 coins per copper in the visitors. However, getting that fortune is very helpful. Garden crop milestones reach. It is very helpful to get a spread on these. Do different crops, which you'll need to learn how to do for your unique gold medals anyways. But getting this up will get you some quick XP early on in the garden. Garden plots unlocked. This is much better now since it also gives you farming fortune. But this is going to get you your space for your garden plots to have crops on them so you can farm them. So that's pretty helpful to have anyways. You'll probably get on your own. The composter upgrades. I haven't done too much of this, but I know if you have it set up right, you can probably still make money even with how old the garden has gotten to be now. Or you might actually need to get upgrades first before you get more. However, that does have a lot of XP to be gained. Fishing has everyone's favorite thing here, trophy fishing. One thing you'll probably want to get, especially as you get to around fishing level 45, is at least Silver Trophy Fisher. But since this gives so much XP to get gold, it wouldn't hurt too much to try going for some extra gold trophy fish. As every single gold gives you 16 XP and every diamond gives you 32, it's very helpful for your level. Dolphin Milestone, this is something you're going to get passively as well. Next up, I'll go over the miscellaneous tasks. Accessory bag upgrades. I personally have not spent 2 billion coins to max this out because I don't need that many spots, but it's definitely helpful to keep upgrading this as you need more accessory bag spots. Reaper peppers, these are very expensive. As you can see, the bazaar sell is 80 million coins, and sure, it's 10 XP each, but there are much cheaper ways to get XP still. The time charms from the Rift, this is a pretty easy grind. As I saw with the Rift, it only took me 1 to 2 days to max out all of the XP for getting over 13 levels. And then you have unlocking powers. A lot of these powers can be pretty useful. I commonly use at least 4 of them, so it is not too bad to get extra ones if you have the money to spare. The dojo, this can be pretty boring, but getting the black belt will also get you a museum donation. As is already soulbound, there's no reason to not to put in your museum. Harp songs. I am not very good at the harp. I have not completed the last 2 ones. However, you definitely want to at least get to Lava and Road because you get a free epic accessory, Melody's hair, and it is really recommended to do that and at least give Through the Campfire an attempt to see if you can get another 12 Skyblock XP. Abaphone contacts. Well, yes, you only need to add each person once to get the XP for this. It is recommended to keep them all in your contacts list so that way you still have the extra magical power from your Abbey case accessory. Currently, as you can see, I'm only missing 2. I can show that exactly which ones those are. I have not added these ones because I need to be on the other faction to add them. Next up, we have the community shop upgrades. These ones are all free, so getting them, there's no reason not to. Especially the coins allowance and minion slots, as those will help you make more money passively. Personal bank upgrade. This is pretty helpful to have, as then you don't have to have a cooldown every time you want to put your money in the bank or open up your personal vault. Now, the story tasks right here, these are pretty passive. You'll probably get them all while just trying to complete your way through each island, as a lot of these are just the introduction tasks, like bringing wheat to Sam, talking to the villagers, talking to the farmhand, mining coal, Gulliver, and all these other ones right here. And that should be all of the ways to gain Skyblock XP right there. So I hope this was helpful.